So in our first and the gospel reading, we hear the story of two widows. In the first reading, Prophet Elijah was going to this place called Zarephath, and then he met this lady who was collecting sticks, to prepare for her last meal. That area has a severe drought, so there's a severe famine. So basically, she was about to cook her very last meal for herself and her son. And then Elijah asked her, don't be afraid, give me some first, and then you can cook for yourself and your son, and then God will provide you. And then, so imagine that. This lady, she has a son, this is her last meal, but she was basically asked by God to give up her basically significant amount of her last meal to Prophet Elijah. And then she was not even Jew, but she trusted the word of Prophet Elijah, the prophet of God of Israel, and she followed that. And then God blessed her faith, and sure enough, she never ran out of food afterwards. In the gospel reading, we hear another story of a widow. In the temple, there's just like we do in the collection, there's a place you can put your donation for the temple, and a lot of people, especially the rich people, they gave a large sum of money. So when I studied a little bit, I was told that the place for us, this is our collection basket, but in the temple, the collection basket was actually made out of metal. So if you put coins there, right, you will hear a clinking sound, right? So the rich people, when they give a lot of donation, everyone will notice. Everyone will notice, he gives a lot of money, like clink, 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 right? But this widow came, she gave two small coins, and then Jesus was noticed her heart, that all other people, they gave what's left over, to God, but for her, she gave everything she had. Here, I really want you to notice that she gave 2 coins, right? She could have kept 1 for herself, but she gave 2, everything she had, right? So here we have to kind of see that these 2 widows, they had a tremendous faith in God that God will provide. Everything will be fine. I really rely on the Lord. So, if you think about it, God does not need our prayer. God does not need our money. But then when we set aside our time and money for God, it's actually good for us because we are putting God first in our life, and naturally a blessing will come from it. Because if you carve out your day, your life for the Lord, put God first, set aside money for the Lord and to help the poor first, set aside your time for the God first, and then use what's left over for your own, obviously the blessing will come through. But however, you use money and time for all yourself first, and then you give God what's left over, it just tells you how important God for you. If God is really important for you, you will put Him in the center first. If not, your life, the way you spend time and money, will show that. And then, but today, the 2 widows, I'm not asking you to donate all your money to church. I'm not asking you to do that. It'd be great, but I'm not asking you to do it. But think about it. Their tremendous faith. In my previous parish, I know this lady. She always gave all of her income in January to the church. Whatever she earned in January, she gave to the church because as a first income, she trusts in the Lord. Okay, in the January, it will be difficult for her because she had to tap into her savings and others, but she trusts in the Lord. She gave the first income to the Lord, and then she went from there. And I know a priest, he always empty out his bank account in December. He gave everything to others in December. He started from 0 in January. So it's something that we can think about. There are people like that, But by doing so, we are trying to put God first, that not me first, but God first and others first. So let us ask our grace so that we can put, God and His will first, and through that, naturally, the blessing will be filled in our life because God in the midst of our life. Amen.